still not used to this. It's been quite a while since I've been able to stream because, yeah, like 8 whole months. 8 whole months of just non-stop nonsense, packet loss, and suddenly here I am. It's back to working, apparently. It's gonna be a bit before I fully get used to that. The hell? Well, main thing. Today, I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do. I had a couple ideas lined up. And let's see. The current ideas are to either continue with Silent Hill 1, since I put some time into that. I can do Oblivion, like the Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Or I can do Hollow Knight. I'm not sure which one to do just yet. I think... Hold on, I've got a little program for this kind of deal. Let's see. Hollow Knight. Silent Hill. Oblivion. I think that's good. Alright. It landed on Silent Hill. So we're going to continue working with Silent Hill, the first one. Let's see, we had just made it to the school. I don't think we did much in the school. We had just kind of made it there and we're vibing. Let's see here. Silent Hill. Oh, wow. I keep forgetting that it'll just pick up literally where I left off. There's not even a need to save. Wild stuff. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I should change the category. Silent Hill. There we go. Oh, hello V-Sheep. How are you? I spun a wheel to try and figure out what to do today. Still love this avatar. I'm not sure how long it's gonna stay around. I am very slowly learning to use Blender. Here's hoping that goes well. Blender is nice. It's also kind of a complicated thing to learn. And I probably won't be learning much of it today. I mean, I damn near put myself in a food coma. Yeah, so I went to go get food. and thought to myself, oh yeah, I can eat all this. And I was right, but what I didn't think about was whether I could handle it without, like, needing to sleep some of it off. That's actually why this stream is an hour late. Because I quite literally just passed out having ate so much. It. Gremlins. Food coma sounds nice. Personally, I'd love to experience it at least once. If you ever are to visit America, just, like, go to a Mexican restaurant. I don't know why Mexican restaurants are just loaded with food, but they are. It's good stuff, but I feel like I have to be rolled home whenever I eat there. When you were a baby, ate a bunch of mint-flavored snacks back to back. A little too refreshing. Ugh. And these things are obnoxious to fight. You go to a Mexican restaurant and come out in the Family Guy death pose. No, that's coming out of a Walmart. Because you will be trampled on if there's a sale going on. I will say, if there's one thing I've never understood, it's, like, Black Friday sales. Like, I'm not one to put down a sale, but I am one to question the ferocity at which people go about dealing with such sales. Oh, this is where, like, those little penguin things are. So, these are the only non-hostile things in the entire game, if I remember correctly, that still make, like, the, radio sound. Doors jammed. The official Sonic social media put out the that Frontiers has a vocal theme song by the band One OK Rock, which is very cool. Love that band. I don't think I've personally heard of them. The song is called Vandalize, and it slaps. To be perfectly honest, I don't think I know a single Sonic game that has bad music. Like, I'm not even a Sonic fan. They're a J-rock slash metal band. So kind of like the Crush 40 experience. Okay, so I've literally been there before. A little more heavy than Crush 40. I mean, I don't think that takes too much. Crush 40 is pretty light when it comes to rock. I guess none of those can be used. Same here. Okay, we've crossed those off. Next is the stairs further to the west. I was going to say north, but then I saw the little compass on the top. Hold on. There's a little crevice there. There could be stuff and things. Oh, okay. There indeed were not stuff or things there. Slightly getting better at the timing for that. It has just a little less range than you expect it to. It's unlocked. I don't remember getting a key. I wonder what the programming behind the radio is. Because I've noticed that in this game, at least, the radio seems to emanate from the monsters themselves as opposed to the radio in my inventory. I don't know if that's easy to pick up on stream. But if you listen, like, to the directional audio... Let's see, that is bad. That's 2 first aid kits used, not very good. They really don't make horror games like they used to. And I mean that in the very literal sense. Because, like, you're not gonna see anything. Oh. Why is Twink picked up as bullying? Twink is considered bullying? What? I've heard that word used so much on this. Why does Automod hate that so much? I don't understand. It also considered DILF apparently to be bullying, which I find interesting. I could see it as being marked as inappropriate. Times are getting a little wacky, Yeah. But I've been on the internet long enough to know that this kind of thing's, like, just the norm. DILF? Do you know what it stands for? Okay, because that's exactly what I'm referring to. It has origins as a very, inappropriate, term. I mean, yeah, people will use it positively, but in terms of origin, it has a place in more lewd sense, and that is a hand. A huge hand. Oh, it's a statue. Oh, yeah. I never said that it was bullying. Twitch said that it was bullying. Because Twitch considers DILF and Twink as bullying, apparently. Ah, Aria of Sorrow. That... I'm guessing you got into that because the way I recommended it last stream. Dance Hall. Let's see, that's... I'm trying to remember where that is in the map. I used to have the entire map of that game memorized. Got the battle axe and no other weapon I'm finding is better than it. Yeah. You good there, buddy? You fell over. Top left, roughly. Yeah, that does sound about right. There's a little penguin dude and he fell over. So I didn't look at the classrooms, did I? Or not thoroughly. Did you know in Europe these enemies were completely censored? They were replaced with mole people. Actually, I think just saved at the upper church area that has battle maids in a corridor with the March hare that bites the dust. Man, it's been a hot minute since I've played apparently, because I'm not remembering that room. That said, still a very good game. I feel like it's really funny that Bloodstained ended up just taking the mechanics established in Aria of Sorrow wholesale. I mean, I say that like it wasn't something that kind of sort of was already like Castlevania at that point, because Castlevania always wanted to have like some extra collectible, it seemed. Curse of Darkness had like the innocent devils. Oh, it's just two little penguins. They can do their thing, and they're harmless. I think I kind of know where you are story-wise. Oh, that's like an actual thing to beat up. What does that put me health-wise? Okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, some of the names in that game are, like, really simple, and then you've got, like... Yoshikage or whatever. Which isn't, like, the most complicated name, but it's like... If I remember correctly, his name legitimately breaks the text boxes. It's either that, or I have mistaken him for another character. Because I know that there's one character in one of the GBA Castlevania games whose name is so long it literally gets cut off. Like, you can see a couple pixels of the text are just cut off. It's kind of funny. It's especially funny when you come to consider the fact that Konami, like, only vaguely cared about the Game Boy Advance Castlevania games. And yet, it was, like, one of the best, like, sets of Castlevania games. Because I honestly don't think they've ever had, like, 3 releases on any console that were, like, at the very least enjoyable, like they did with the Game Boy Advance. Because, like, the NES, you've got 1 and 3, which are great, but you also have 2, which is not great. I passed by that door. Oh, right. This is a puzzle that I've completely forgotten now. It's written in blood. A tale of birds without a voice. First flew the greedy pelican, eager for the reward, white wings flailing. Then came the silent dove, flying beyond the pelican as far as he could. A raven flies in, flying higher than the dove just to show that he can. A swan glides in to find a peaceful spot next to another bird. Finally, out comes a crow, coming quickly to a stop, yawning and then napping. Who will show the way, who will be the key, and who will lead to the silver reward? To be honest, I've never really been good at puzzles. Can birds yawn? That's actually a really good question. I don't know if birds can yawn. And on the topic of the Castlevanias for the DS, I would say the three on the 3DS are not 3DS. The DS are also really good. Dawn of Sorrow, really good. Portrait of Ruin is okay. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's mediocre either. It's like slightly above mediocre. At least that is all I can say about it. I never really beat it because there's like a huge difficulty spike. Because you're supposed to be playing like both characters and whatnot, but you reach a moment where you have to play like exclusively one of them, and it just makes everything kind of hard. Let's see, so the first is white. I'm guessing the second would be white because that's a dove. The raven flies higher than the dove. The swan glides in to find a piece. They come to a stop, yawning and then napping. Who will show the way? Who will be the key? Just realized Dawn of Sorrow equal DS. Yeah. You know what's funny? There were so many DS games with DS in the title, it was almost like the Nintendo 64 all over again. Which is, actually, now that I think about it, kind of amazing in a way, because the DS was basically just a handheld N64 with no mip mapping. Like Bleach Dark Souls or Trauma Center's Derek Styles. Long lived the Queen. She'll be back. She is an undead. And no analog. Oh, yeah, true. Also no C buttons. She'll have a second phase. It's... I think that was basically... I don't know, she's one of the harder to understand undead. I say this as a ghost. And welcome, Code Glitch. How are you? So there was the library over here. There's the... Oh, I missed the locker room. I love how the camera just drunkenly swings around. Well, third then. This is one of those boss fights. Yeah, we're gonna make, like, the Bayonetta final boss and have 16 phases. Or we can make, like, a Kingdom Hearts final boss and have 16 health bars. Still better than Yzmat. Actually, is that even how you say his name? Edie. Unfortunately, Cat die. Kingdom Hearts 2 Xemnas fight. I don't remember that having a lot of health bars. I just remember Xemnas being annoying. Or it's old Lizzie, she pulls out the royal lightsabers. Kingdom Hearts is weird. And I honestly would have played more Kingdom Hearts if it wasn't for copyright. Because man, there's a whole heap. Welcome, Vic. Yeah, she's only down for now. She'll come back, as any undead does. So it won't open. It's not seemingly locked. Trying to remember what to do here. There was the building duel, the various dragon phases, the... Okay. I'm not gonna say those out loud to keep the PG-13 rating, but... that is accurate. Those are the restrooms that I visited earlier. Maybe I need to go back to the reception room. Wait, no, there's still an upstairs that I haven't been... Wait, no, I did go up there, right. It's a single door. No, the main thing I remember about Kingdom Hearts 2 is not liking it as much as I did the first one. Like, yes, the combat was less clunky, but I feel like it kind of got floaty as a result, and I don't know. I'm just not really big on floaty combat. Xemnas Dragon is really cool. Wish I properly understood where it comes from. Isn't that kind of like just Kingdom Hearts summarized there? I wish I understood where it came from. Counterpoint, Kingdom Hearts didn't have Lion Yum. It did, however, have combat that I vastly preferred myself. Let's see. I kind of forgot that I had sound effects enabled. A place with songs and sound. A silver guidepost is untapped and lost tongues, awakening at the ordained order. If I remember correctly, there's a point where I have to change the time. Blood, 5 o'clock, darkness that brings the choking heat. Flames render the silence, awakening the hungry beast. Open time's door to beckon prey. Alchemy Laboratory. Gold in an old man's palm. The future exchange phrase. Wait, the chemicals. Can I bring the chemicals over to the hand? Where's the stairs? Up. Once upon a time, I didn't know my directions very well. So I didn't know where east, west, and south were very well. I just knew that north was up. Go west. Oh, the statue of the hand is this way. That's the north I'm headed towards. Sorth. Sorth sounds like a name for like a fantasy character. There's a gold medallion. Take it? Yes. I know exactly where this goes, but I just need to get a silver medallion next. Oh, hello there. Hello there times 2. Fallen Knight, Sorth Bloodedge. Now, I know for a fact that that last name is from BlazBlue. Eat a burrito or something? Pretty much the only character I played in BlazBlue was Tau. Tau is really great, but I say that as someone who likes to play faster characters in fighting games. I expected him to get up. Yeah, so like I was saying earlier, these little, like, creatures, if I remember correctly, they're called Grey Children. They don't exist in the European versions of this game. Instead, they're replaced by enemies that you would normally encounter later in the game in the sewers. The Mumblers, if I recall. Taste in fighter characters is the ones that have a good mix of getting up close and keeping a safe distance. I tend to prefer something that's just really fast. So Tau Kaka is a really great character to play as. Did everything respawn? Oh no, it's just a penguin. No matter. It's unlocked. What did I unlock? Oh, it's just a penguin. Good speed and range to be both good up close and keep some steps away. Yeah. I kind of forget what characters she was good at fighting. I remember, the big guy with the huge fists, whatever his name was. You could fight him pretty easily as Tau. Iron Tiger, yeah. It's weird how I remember so much and so little at the same time of that game. Hmm. Wait, is there? There is. I didn't even realize that I could go further down. That's farther away from where I want to look. His magnetism can be a butt if it lands, but his girth is no match for Taukaka's zoomies of mass destruction. Taukaka is genuinely like a fast character, but often in all the worst ways when you're fighting her. I've never been one to do online matches and fighting games, and that's mostly because I grew up back in the out in the country, so I'm used to having really bad internet and having like roughly 28 frame delay or something. So if a doctor does an autopsy, it's okay, but when I do it, it's murder, and you aren't supposed to pull the brain while they're conscious. Yeah, sounds about right. Tao versus Arakune is a matchup that comes with psychological warfare because she has unique voice lines for fighting Arakune, and they're really grating. I do remember that. There's a switch button. Okay. Though, I will be honest, the worst part of Taukaka is her voice actress. And I don't mean like the voice actress in general, I just mean how she gets portrayed in the game. It's like they just went to try and make the most obnoxious possible voice for the English dub, at least. I wonder if she does something like that with the Japanese dub as well. Actually, I don't even remember how different her voice is from, like, the English to Japanese dubs. I don't know if she's better or worse. I just know that she only has English and Japanese because those are like the only things that were dubbed. Okay, that's the locker room again. Oh hey, it's open again. Okay, so we do have the ability to look at that now. Let's see, once more. First flew the greedy pelican, eager for the reward. White wings failing. Flailing. So... Hmm. So the pelican was eager for the reward, flying higher than the dove just to show that he can. Okay. So let's see. The Pelican. The Pelican would have to be first, right? And then came the Dove, flying beyond the Pelican as far as it could. A Raven flies in, flying higher than the Dove. So the Dove is ahead of the Pelican, and the Raven's ahead of the Dove. Swan glides in to find a peaceful spot next to another bird, so I'm going to guess that it's either behind or just ahead of the Pelican. Finally, out comes a crow, coming quickly to a stop, yawning and then napping. I'm going to guess that's like the first black note. So Pelican first, Dove after, Raven ahead, Swan. So. Oh. Okay, hold on. Okay, I think I see now. I don't think that's it. Lastly, Raven from Guilty Gear swoops in and eats all the birds because he can. He's a horrible, immortal rat man. There's also a bed man. A man strapped to a bed. So. Hold on. There's 2 black notes to play, and there's 2 white notes, what? Right? What? So there's. No, there's 3 white notes to play and 2 black notes. Okay, so Pelican has to be that furthest white note. The Dove is probably the one, like the third playable note. The Raven then comes right after. The Swan is okay. Ooh, I keep forgetting that Henry here has like a super wide turn. I think I get it. I don't. Maybe not. Henry came to Silent Hill with his banana shoes. Let's see, which of these are playable? Hang on a moment. Oh, I get it now. Let's see, which one? I see. So, we're looking for the ones that fall short. There we go. I've done a puzzle. And this time I didn't need chat to do it for me like I did in Resident Evil 8. And the sad part is the one that I couldn't do myself in Resident Evil 8 was actually a really easy puzzle. In fact, it literally wasn't even a puzzle. It was line up the shapes. And I still failed. Could you imagine Silent Hill if, like, Henry controlled, like, Sora in Kingdom Hearts 1? What puzzle was it? It was the music box where you had to line up the scratches. And I, like, spent 20 minutes on it. And just keep, like, the goddamn crowbar. You know what? I have bullets. I'm going to use them. You don't need magic when you got bullets. When there's two of them, I'm just gonna use bullets. His farm change is a gun. Hands are stopped at 5. What was supposed to happen at 5 again? Because it was stopped at 10. I'm gonna guess it was 12 when I got the golden thing. Darkness that brings the choking heat. Flames render the silence, awakening the hungry beast. Open time's door to beckon prey. Do I have a thing that I can use to open... Well, open sesame? There's probably something that I was missing in that map. I don't know why I refer to excluded areas in games as maps. It's probably because I've spent way too much time in, the Source engine or something. Golden Sun, Silver Moon... You know, in most, like, indie horror games, this is the kind of music that would be playing when you're either being hunted or fighting a boss. Locked. Hands are stopped at that. Oh, maybe I can press the button in the basement again. in the right direction? I did. Maps and scenes are the most common game engine terms used in place of levels. Yeah. Hello, Minty. I have seen one engine that doesn't refer to it as maps or scenes, instead referring to them as locales. Oh, I went the wrong way. Some game engines just want to be unique, I guess.
Where am I? Have I been here before? I don't remember this being here before.
That's not ominous at all. I love how most of the music tracks in this game are so simple compositionally. Oh, hello there. Man, these things are annoying. I don't know about anyone else, but I don't like grab attacks in games. Especially when the only way to get out of it is to spam buttons. Alright, gun time. Sometimes it's just easier to use bullets. Being considered at least trying to make a simple little 3D game, like even if it's a prototype, you just 3D platform around, grab a few things, and it goes, you did it. Have some other days. If it is neutral special, he wields a gun. Hold on, I'm gonna be right back real quick. Okay. I just had to get something sorted real quick. For his neutral special, he is killed and will kill again. I mean, Kirby isn't the only Nintendo character to have killed. You should see the body count that Samus has. I'm glad that it's giving me all the first aid kits I need, because clearly I am not very good at this game's combat. Is that a... That's a roach. I don't think there's competition. Has she killed literal gods? No, but Shulk has. It's kind of weird to think about, but like RPGs almost always end up with a god being killed at some point. Orb. Shulk's killed one god, 2 of the Fog King counts. If we're gonna go by, like, Kirby lore, it's mostly just ultimate life forms as opposed to gods, specifically. Yeah, and that clown he's killed, like, twice. One particular time having a really awful scream. That, by the way, literally blew out my DS Lite speakers back in the day. It's that loud. Yeah, Kirby battles a lot of eldritch horrors. Yeah. Nightmare is probably a god to some extent. No, he's just a dude in a cape. It's really weird to think about where Kirby has gone over the years. Kirby literally started because King Dedede just wanted all the food. Like, the very first iteration of good old Kirby, King Dedede has stolen all the food. The series takes place in Dreamland. You think a literal physical nightmare would have a bigger impact? Yeah. But you'd also expect dreams to have a bigger physical impact, and they don't really have much of an impact whatsoever in most Kirby stories. I would say that the whole part about dreams when it comes to Kirby is very much like flavor text more than it is like actual plot stuff. Whereas, like, then you've got something like Klonoa, where they don't really let you think anything else is going on. It's like, these are dreams. Klonoa, you're like a strange dream. Isn't that funny? Dreams? Dream SMP? Oh yeah, that reminds me. I do have the Klonoa collection. So maybe what I should do... Maybe what I should do at some point is, once I get my own apartment, I'll do Klonoa 2 as sort of like a celebration of like, hey, I've moved. That might be fun. Oh, is this a door? If it is, there's no keyhole or even a knob. If I push it, it moves a bit, but it certainly won't open. What's this? In the center of the door is a horizontal slot. What's it for? Gee, I wonder. It's not like we picked up a thing that could be the thing that you need. Wow. Who would have guessed? Also, was my health orange? My health was orange. Sippy. I forget exactly where it is, but I do know that there is a room that has an instant kill in this game, and I forget where it is. I know it's in the other world somewhere. I think there's some obscure Klonoa manga, like, I think Yupo says, dreams are like the wind, you may not see them, but they always have an impact on the world. There is technically 2 different manga. 3 if you want to consider the one that covers the remake story. Because there is, like, one where it's, like, its own unique thing. It's just, like... What? Why is that labeled as misogyny? Gunts is a character name, Twitch. Apparently that's misogynistic. I don't know. Twitch do be kind of weird sometimes. And to be honest, I think the, maybe it's because it's a workaround the C. Maybe. Gun. Gun. I wonder how much weirder this game would be if it played like Resident Evil 5. I need to punch a few boulders. Had to stretch. I do know that this section messes with you with the location of things. You might have noticed it while I was, while I was in the bathrooms. Phone. It's loud.
Daddy, help me. Daddy, where are you?
Cheryl!
That was Cheryl's voice, I know it. Where is she? Cheryl. And a ghost really isn't that stretchy, all things considered. We have a certain amount of, well, not exactly mass that we can do, but we can only use so much ectoplasm, as it were. Who was phone? Was it man door, hand hook, car door? The first time I saw that copy pasta, I literally didn't know how to process it. Ugh. Man, he takes a hot minute to recover. Uh... Pink? Shotgun shells. Oh, I must be about to get a shotgun. That'll be useful. Someone who doesn't know how to play a piano in these parts. To be honest, I feel like most tracks in this game were made just by hitting random keys. Because, again, like I said earlier, compositionally, a lot of the tracks in this game are very simple. That doesn't mean they're bad. It's just, if you were to try and recreate them, it would not take much. Recall, they were made by taking recording equipment to an alley with a crowbar and just bashing the hell out of dumpsters and pipes and trash cans. Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, that's definitely how it sounds. Something tells me it would have been a really fun recording day, though. Then again, I don't think I've really heard of many sound engineers not having a blast, because they just find the craziest, most destructive ways possible to find, like, how to make a certain sound. Okay, I guess I can't do anything here. If Doom's OST is violence, Silent Hills is panic. Yeah. I don't think I've seen or heard, like, a soundtrack like Silent Hills, like, at all. Actually, come to think of it, not even later Silent Hill entries do anything like this. This music is almost purely Silent Hill 1. Like, they don't do any of this crazier stuff, like, again. I still love that. That's such a creative way of, like, messing with player expectations. Because the entire thing is that you expect something to jump out of the locker because it happened before. So when you go to that locker and nothing's in there, your guard is down. Because you don't expect anything else to happen, and then that thing happens. I love that. Messing with player expectations is a thing that I don't see happen often enough in any horror game, regardless of time. I love how every now and then the game just starts running really well. Let's see. I got a key. I just need to figure out where to use the key. Maybe it's upstairs. I've missed something. And I know that for a fact. Because that is the boss arena. Okay, that lock is jammed. That one's jammed. Is there anything that hasn't been jammed? There we go. Hearing this, the hunter armed with bow and arrows said, "I will kill the lizard." But upon meeting his opponent, he held back, taunting, "Who's afraid of a reptile?" At this, the furious lizard hissed, "I'll swallow you up in a single bite." And then the huge creature attacked, jaws open wide. This is what the man wanted. Calmly drawing his bow, he shot into the lizard's gaping mouth. Effortlessly, the arrow flew, piercing the defenseless maw, and the lizard fell down dead. This is from an old fairy tale. I remember reading it as a kid. That's a interesting thing to read as a kid. Some stuff in Silent Hill is jammed, as in not working. Other times it's covered in strawberry jam. It sounds like foreshadowing. It is. And I know exactly what it's foreshadowing to. Like, I may not be very good at remembering puzzles, but I can usually remember, like, game events pretty well. Locked. Henry is a fan of German fairy tale. I mean, if you go far back enough, most fairy tales are really screwed up. Because a lot of them were literally made to scare children into not doing certain things. Most of them are German. There is that. So I can't enter these at all. Means I'm not going to be able to make it to the basement at all. Oh, these are jammed, right? No, they're locked. You see, that's an important distinction. That means eventually I'm unlocking that. Can't seem to think of anything else that we can do here. I guess back to the roof. I could have sworn that we got the shotgun before having to go up to this roof. Maybe I'm misremembering which roof this is. If you ever see me, like, pause briefly, it's quite literally just because I don't like process that I'm supposed to hit select. that's where the rubber ball goes. Yes, I can. Which idea? The 3D platformer one? Twitch 8. Ah. Standard Twitch. Also, there haven't been any save points lately. Prototyping a roguelite in RPG Maker. That could be interesting, honestly. You'd have to probably get some special code. I'm trying to think. Well, no, maybe you wouldn't have to do special code. 2003 has no custom coding. It doesn't in a traditional sense, but you can get a lot done. Because people have gotten some genuinely insane stuff completed in 2003. Like someone made a dungeon crawler, like a first-person dungeon crawler in 2003. Though I've also seen someone just recreate the entirety of Ultima. Which that's a game I tried to play once. Honestly, would not recommend. Unless you like more brutally difficult RPGs. And it's not like brutally difficult in the sense where like, oh, this is, you have to think hard and good to make everything work. No, you have to manage food, you have to, like a lot of management that gets a little tedious. I'm talking about Ultima. It's a game series I've tried to get into before, but it requires a little too much management for my liking. And most of the problem is because you have to babysit your character, basically. And if you're going to do it vanilla v sheep, the closest I can think of is making it so the player has to save at save points. And like make it so the only save point is like in a town or something. Like you have to go back to a portal and the portal changes where it goes to as you get deeper or higher up, depending on how you want to do the dungeon layout. So like let's say you go to floor 2, you'd probably want to like put a flag for that. Ultima, isn't it like super old in an RPG? It is. The only thing I remember about Ultima is the terrible stone jumping puzzle with terrible controls. which game it was. I honestly don't either. I've only played Ultima 4 and Ultima Online. And I think that Ultima Online was kind of fun, whereas, honestly, I wouldn't mind never playing, like, Ultima 4 ever again. Okay, but where did this drop to, actually? I have ideas for it already. That's good. I'm just trying to think, however, how you would make it so, like, there's a reset. Prototype is gonna have a little hub to do stuff in and save and all. I wonder if it's possible to have... Like, I'm curious if the game allows... Well, the engine allows you to delete... like, save data as a command. Steel Rising? Afraid I'm not familiar with Steel Rising. You don't need to delete that sort of data. So then, what are you going to do by, the roguelite elements? Like, are you going to have it be overworld encounters that, are set to can lose, and it will just send you back to the very beginning, but save your level and all that? Because it can be that. Then again, you can also change level. So you could probably reset to level 1 as well. It's been a bit since I've toyed with RPG Maker. Maybe I should mess with it some myself. Wait a minute. Ah! Classroom key. Let's see. Which... That was... one of them's... Oh. Welcome to the chat room, it says. I guess Twitch had a bug. Fortunately, I haven't seen anything bad with the network frames dropping. What I figured, its save is your money and Estus Flask equivalent thing and your starting weapon. Everything else gets wiped on a reset. Is there an easy way to wipe all inventory? Actually, there is an initialize inventory command, isn't there? Which says welcome to chat every time I move it to another screen. Twitch is kind of funky. Don't know, and it also can't be the whole inventory. Like I said, I need to use RPG Maker again. Relearn it. I used to have a project that I was working on for it. I haven't done anything involving it in a long time, so probably best to start something brand new. And you have two inventories, one that doesn't get erased and one that does. Not really. You'd have to program that, and that would require you to use something later than 2003. That said, I don't understand why they removed the floating tag. I get that it was just a visual feature, but like, the floating tag makes flying enemies look so much better. Ugh. Get off. From enemy sprites. Yeah, for enemy sprites. For some reason, it was just completely removed. Like, I think 2003 is like the only time it showed up in RPG Maker. Again, I think that would require programming, which RPG Maker 2003 does not allow. The main thing to note about RPG Maker 2003 is that it's very limited. But that's a lot of roaches. Don't know how you'll do most of that stuff. To be honest, when it comes to anything RPG Maker related, you kind of just screw around until you magically find the answer. And if you can't find the answer, you go on another track, or you look it up, because there's 1,000,000,001 people who have used the engine and done crazy things with it. It's like a scientific method. I mean, that's how I figured out how to do most things in that engine. I just flailed around with the tools until I found something that was nice. Okay, I'm getting a lot of these shotgun shells, and I'm not seeing a shotgun. Ominous. Bam. I did it. That wild, like, look. He's just like, oh god, what's up? Help. Oh. Oh. This is gonna be my first death, because I don't have a shotgun, which is very useful in this fight. Yeah. Yeah, this is the lizard, essentially. Ugh. He is hurting a lot. Or not. I guess that's like minor damage. I don't remember exactly what to do to make him open his mouth. I do know that it's an instant kill if he swallows you. I just don't remember what to do for this fight. Ouch. I forget if you're supposed to, like, shoot him a little bit first or something. And I'm out of ammo. Yeah, I don't really have anything for this fight. And I haven't saved in a while, so I'm gonna have to redo the, everything. Come back to see you trying to bludgeon it. Well, yeah. I ran out of ammo. Is that hurting me at all? So it hurts just to rub up against him, apparently. Just run in circles, I guess. That's how we doing it here. If this works, I'm gonna be really upset. Ugh. So how much health does that leave me with? Wonder what they sampled to make this sound. I'm supposed to be the one running from you, mate. Good. Funny that just bumping into it deals damage. I never thought I would see contact damage in a Silent Hill. Contact damage in some games is BS. Yeah, just look at MapleStory. Man, this is cramping my hand. MapleStory does have contact damage. Ugh. And I remember it being really annoying in certain areas. Like the Lego world. Oh yeah, and Elnath is also really bad, because there's ice physics there, too. Oh, hello. After I either beat this or die, I want to look this boss up in Silent Hill. Because I just want to see if... Like, if I die, I want to see if I can actually beat it like this. And if I can't, then we'll try and find that shotgun. Chicken-legged boss. Yeah, something like that. I'm wondering if they gave this thing contact damage just because they knew it was so exploitable. Ugh. Is it just me, or is it getting more aggressive? Like, it feels like it's getting more aggressive. Recently replayed and refinished Iconoclast. Really good indie Metroidvania. I've heard about it. Never played. I'm honestly thinking I can't damage him like this. So I'm just gonna let myself die and then look it up. Not by that, though. I'm gonna at least try to finish the fight. Or just fall over, because he turned around. Okay. No, it's not that I'm finding things too dark, it's that I literally didn't have ammo or the shotgun. Let's see. I guess I gotta look around for a shotgun. Where will that pick me up, actually? I do know that this game has checkpoints. I don't know where this game can... Okay. Reset. I mean, I appreciate you, game, but that is not where I needed to be. I needed to be in the room before that. I didn't die because I was just bad at the game. I died because I literally... I did the thing again. Oh, it actually put me where it was. Love that the running loading screen is where Harry is out of bounds. Gmod map. That also happens in Gold Source Engine games. Let's see. Where was I when I last saved? I, like, didn't have any of the things that I should have. Okay, so I need to go get chemicals again. Which means I need to go into the chemistry lab upstairs. And I don't have ammo. Or no, wait, I do have ammo. Okay, I just need to be more careful with the way I use my ammo is all. That's right. I went through a massive unlocking spree. This is why you save after doing every, like, major thing. I didn't, and now I'm gonna suffer for it. Okay. Time to redo pretty much everything. This backwards jump is both useful and useless at the same time. Okay, I went the wrong way. Alright, got the chemical. There we go. It's a little finicky, like, where you can and can't use certain things. In agreement that contact damage is an outdated game mechanic. I feel like it's fine in very limited cases. Like, I feel like you can make a game with contact damage and it not feel awful. But you have to make it something that makes sense, like fire. I mean, I don't think they would have gotten lost, because there's quite literally a thing in this area that tells you that you should use Sage's water on a hand or something like that. Ugh. These things are super annoying. I'm using more healing this time now, it seems. But some blood shouldn't mean me, but just bumping the legs. Yeah, I will agree on that. The contact damage there makes very little sense. Because it's not as though it's implied that it's, like, really strong steps or anything. It just sort of moves. And the thing's made of flesh. I need to go downstairs. I think the main reason I would say Mario works with contact damage is purely because it's built around contact damage. This isn't a game that's built around contact damage, so its existence is that much stranger. Like, I want you to imagine you're playing, Halo, but if you bump into any of the, a flood at all, you just start rapidly taking damage for no reason. And it makes sense with the tinier flood because they, you know, they charge at you and pop. But, like, imagine that as a more continuous thing, as opposed to just gradual chip damage. Or worse yet, imagine Devil May Cry, but it has contact damage. Oh, right. Devil May Cry with contact damage would be awful. I mean, I guess there kind of is contact damage with some of those enemies. I forget what it was called, but there's one that's kind of like that. I mean, there are those bugs in Metroid Prime, but their patterns are made specifically with you avoiding them in mind. It's not as though they're, like, sitting there moving like a regular enemy and hurting you for just being near them. Actually, I think that's the difference. Good contact damage is when the game is designed around that contact damage. Because Mario enemies are all designed like that. They're all designed with simple, easy to understand movement. So as a result, you understand how they work, and it never really feels cheap when you take damage from those enemies. But when you get hit by something that's literally just a giant flesh lizard, things kinda don't work out. I wonder what the worst example of context damage would be. Because the worst that is in my head will forever belong to MapleStory. And that's purely because MapleStory is, like, designed for it, kind of. It's in this weird, like, middle state where, like, yes, it is designed for contact damage, but the character movement is not. I would explain what I mean by that, but it's really hard to explain MapleStory's movement without just telling someone to play the game. That said, contact damage isn't really much of an issue in modern MapleStory, and that's mostly because they screwed everything up. Get this. A game that is 2D decided that the best course of action is to make sure that most abilities characters get is a screen nuke, or how, like, a lane clear. So as a result, it's super easy to kill things in modern MapleStory compared to how it used to be. Does that mean that old Maple was better in every single way? No. No, not even slightly. There are many things even about old Maple that I greatly despise. I feel like a middle point between those would be great. Oh, here's the cat again. And yet, for some reason, the little ghost penguins just squeak. Is it Harry or Henry? I believe it's Harry. Harry Mason. Which sounds like an innuendo, if I'm gonna be honest. Oh, wait. It's a good thing I kind of remembered the puzzle solution. Okay. This time, I'm going to save. After I activate the generator, I'm going to save. And then I'm going to explore the rest of the school before I get to the other world, just to make sure I've looted everything. Just a cat. I wonder how that cat opens the door. Eh. Oh no, there's a positively ancient meme. I don't know. It's really weird to look back at like all the old memes. Because it never really feels like it was that long ago, and then you like think about it for a bit. It's like, hang on a minute. The last time that was popular was like 16 years ago. Then again, just about every, like, lolcat, as it were, doesn't exist anymore. Remember Grumpy Cat? Remember I Can has cheeseburger? Congratulations, you're old now. Memes are fast, but I feel like they've gotten faster. Like, I don't remember that ever happening. But as I was saying, I think memes have started to actually go faster. Because they used to last quite a while. I know that when it came to, oh, there's two of them in here. Oh, gun. Get off me. Something short form content like Vine, TikTok, and now YouTube Shorts are helping to kill everyone's attention span. Give me a 10-hour video essay or else. Memes shouldn't be dead in a week. Let trends and fun things last. Yeah, it's really weird too, because it's like, I know memes can last a while. I've seen them last a while. Rage comics lasted for so long. And then one day they just died. And never came back. Or, well, I guess they kind of came back. The troll face suddenly came back into circulation recently. I'm still confused by that one. Like, of all the ones to bring back, if that's the one? That said, there's some older memes that should be left buried. There were a lot of old internet memes that have not aged well. Wait, was I already by the bathrooms? Oh, there's bathrooms for up and downstairs. This is the one I visited. I'm trying to think of any other like older memes that have just suddenly come back into circulation for no good reason. Uh, really, nothing's coming to mind, but there are a lot of like what I like to call old era memes, because there were there was a very different time when it came to the internet for a while there. And if you were to compare what was okay online then to what is okay online now, it's a very different beast. There's a lot of things that were everywhere that really shouldn't have been. Is the infirmary where I saved? I think it was. Yeah, this is the place. This time I'm actually going to save before well, before I activate that one thing. Hopefully I can actually find a shotgun this time. Let's see here. So I put that in there. Real cesspool of shaming people for their interests, as well as way too much casual queerphobia, racism, and ableism. Oh yeah. I would say there's aspects that I miss about old internet. I liked how long things would last. I didn't like many of the more problematic aspects that just permeated the internet. But I do wish we still had Flash. Like, HTML5 is great and all, but I don't think people are as dedicated to making browser games as they used to be. Actually, I think that's the problem. We need more browser games. Ones that ain't like Farmville or whatever ever the heck. We need like a Toss the Turtle, Fancy Pants, Madness Combat, all that, but like HTML5. Yeah, itch.io does have plenty. The problem is that those are mixed in with like a whole bunch of other type. I see. That's what I was supposed to do. It has like a whole bunch of other type games as well. There's a lot of executable games on itch.io. You can sort it, but what I'm getting at is like when we were younger, how many websites can you remember that you could go on to for Flash? There was Cool Math Games, Newgrounds, Armored what was it? It was like Armored Games or something like that. What was it called? I remember it specifically for having an ear-shattering logo noise. Armored Games Studios or something like that. And yeah, there was Congregate, Armor Games, that's it. Addicting Games. Yeah, Cartoon Network had their own. Nickelodeon also had their own Flash games. I still remember the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour Flash game. Uh, while in a very loose sense, World is also a very good example of a Flash website. I say a loose sense because technically it is a Flash game itself with Flash games inside of it. If that's confusing, yes, it is. Because what World did was basically it was a Flash game, social game. You were able to make avatars and whatnot using Flash CS4. In fact, that is why I have experience in using Flash. Because of World. But you could also make Flash games, and you could make it so people could earn coins by playing those Flash games. Of course, it didn't take long for people to make Flash games where just by idling you could make coins. That game's economy was in shambles. Like, constantly. Striped loading bar they had for 2010s era-ish is what eating a bite of Ratatouille was to that critic. You see, for me, I remember when they didn't really have loading bars. It would usually just say loading, and you'd have like someone would have put the words loading and like dots that animate like 1 2 3 1 2 3, that kind of deal. But like they didn't put it at a reasonable frame rate, so it's just rapidly flashing. I'm feeling old just talking about this, and I'm not even really that old. I mean, I don't think that kind of animation will ever die. And I'm only like 24. Well, soon to be 25. It's not going to take too long before I'm 25. January 10th. It'll be another year of undeath. And possessing this meat puppet. Yeah, that's what I was doing. As old as the Kingdom Hearts series. I am slightly older than Half-Life 1. Let's see. Half-Life 1... When was that released again? Yeah, Half-Life 1 was released in November. I'm about 10 months older than the original Half-Life. Hold on. Games that came out in 1998. I want to see if any of them came out like on my birthday. No. Okay, so nothing apparently came, or at least nothing big came out around my birthday. The closest options are No One Can Stop Mr. Domino, which came out 2 days before me, and Marvel vs. Capcom Clash of Superheroes, which came out 2 days after me. That is so weird to think about. Wait, when was Resident Evil? Okay, Resident Evil 2 released January 21st. No, I'm 24. I'm going to be 25 in January. I'm just sitting here trying to look for anything that was released on the same day that I came into this world. There probably was something, but I can't find anything, like, immediate. It's still a really weird thought, though. I'm technically older than Half-Life 1. Same year, but 10 months older. Oh, and welcome back, Vic. Sorry, I got a little distracted by giving out personal info. I mean, it's just birth date. Being chased by a black shadow? Is this a reference I'm not understanding?
Where am I? Have I been here before? I don't remember this being here.
I mean, if you ever want to have a little bit of fun, remember that Amnesia: The Dark Descent was starting to get really popular around, no, on the surface it looked like you're being chased by some black shadow. Oh, you probably saw one of the little penguin children. They just kind of vibe. I don't think they can hurt you. But, like, Amnesia: The Dark Descent, it was starting to get popular around, like, 2011, which means about 11 years ago, individuals like PewDiePie and Markiplier broke into the scene. Technically, they had videos from before that time, but Amnesia: The Dark Descent is really what skyrocketed their popularities. So yeah, 11 years ago is what brought us Markiplier, PewDiePie, Trying to remember some other big names from that time. Uber Haxer Nova. Spoonerism. Yeah. That is very much the truth. I mean, heck, there are people who were born, like, when Five Nights at Freddy's was just starting to get big. Actually, when did Five Nights at Freddy's get to be a thing? I'm sorry for pausing so much, but my brain is in a lot of places right now. 2014. So basically 3 years after Amnesia had been popular. 3 years after... What was it that PewDiePie used to freak out over all the time? Barrels? Something like that? I don't know. I honestly haven't watched PewDiePie in a long time. There are kids that might have Undertale as one of their formative media experiences and favorite nostalgic video games. Oh, it was Barrels? Okay, so I was right on the mark there. I remember watching PewDiePie not because I enjoyed his content, but because I was really, really bored. Every YouTuber back then had some bit. Oh yeah, like, Markiplier, he doesn't really do it much anymore, but he had, like, the whole pink mustache thing going on. This guy does Minecraft. There's a name that's been sullied with time. He and Cryotic both. Though I think Sky Does Minecraft did the worst. Yeah. There was also, let's see, what was another big screw-up of a YouTuber? Lion Maker? That... If you don't know about the case of Lion Maker, please just don't look it up. It's infuriating. I don't think I've ever seen... Oh wait, I was already here. That's where I got the rubber ball. I don't think I've ever seen, like, a YouTuber controversy end up with, like, an interview where the person being interviewed, you know, trying to defend themselves, spends legitimately 2 or 3 hours worth dancing in circles, lying about what he did and didn't do, and frequently changing his answer over and over. I think we had this same discussion during the Jump King stream, brought up Minilad. Yeah, Minilad is another case for sure. It's really weird to me just how many people have been exposed. And I guess it makes sense, though, because people in power, unfortunately, do some really screwed up things quite often. The Jump King stream was pretty chill, though. Windows Y. Windows decided to just give me a notification saying, don't snooze on Game Pass. I'll snooze on whatever I feel like. I'm a feline. Oh, there's a lot of them here. Okay, I will... Looks like I'm permanently scared. This is a very spooky game. Okay, since there's only one left, I should be able to... I hate these things so much. There we go. Okay. I'd hate to do a drinking game with how many of our favorite YouTubers turned out to be creeps or... Yeah. I'll let that one be held by, Automod. Just because of the specific, words in it. But... Well, the words that are being kept away. But, yeah. You would... If you were to try and do a drinking game where, like, YouTubers... Like, how many times YouTubers ended up being, creepy, you would probably die of liver failure before you got halfway. Yeah, straight up death. Game Pass is pretty great, though. So I hear, but also I don't like subscription fees. I try to avoid subscription fees if I can, mostly because I don't have a whole lot of money. Or at least not money to be throwing around frivolously. Me neither, but 3 months for $1 is pretty good. I like subscriptions and streaming in general. I'm fine with streaming to an extent. Like, I have to have things offered to me that I actually care about. The problem is a lot... Oh, man, that's not good. A lot of things that you find on, like, Netflix and stuff like that are just not... I hate these things so much. Also, Game Pass does let you download games. There's so many of these things everywhere. It doesn't help that their grab, it overrides your actions. I hate these things so much. There we go. It's no accident that Game Pass has been synonymous with, like, this game is trash, but it's basically free if you're subbed, so you might as well play it. I feel like in terms of Game Pass games, there really isn't a lot that's interesting, yeah. I also feel like one of the biggest problems I personally have with Game Pass is mostly just what it does offer very often ends up being games that I already own or have no interest in. Like, I'm sorry, but I already own things like Saints Row or Sea of Thieves. In fact, I played it with the other VCats a long time ago. Some of you might remember that. Might. I actually no, I don't know if any of you were there back then. That was still very early on. There was a save point here the entire time. Okay. That is true. But the difference is that for me, it isn't a good deal. Because quite often, the things that they put in Game Pass are things that I would literally never be interested in anyways. Like, let's check real quick what it, like, the first things it throws into my face as being Game Pass. Disney Dreamlight, not really interested in that. Grid Legends, not interested in that. Assassin's Creed Origins, I already own. I actually already own Hollow Knight as well. I already own Stardew Valley. I already own Plague Tale. Basically, that's the issue I have. It's like, the things that I see on here are either things that I've already bought, and then, like, they got Mirror's Edge. I already own Mirror's Edge. That's what I'm getting at, though. It's like, it is a great deal for the people who don't already own the more interesting games or want to experiment with a tons of different other games. But for me personally, a lot of the games that they showcase are things I already own or don't care for. This is actually the same issue I have with Netflix. Because I like Netflix. I really do. Well, okay, I don't like them as a company. They can suck eggs. But, I like the service. I just... There's so many things on it that I would literally never watch. I basically spend most of my time not actually watching Netflix. I don't even have a subscription most times. I only get one when something, like, actually interesting shows up, and that takes a bit, because, well, to be honest, I don't like a lot of animated shows or what have you. Like, the most recent animated show that I can think of, like, recent as in came out recently, that I can think of that I've watched and enjoyed was Centaur World. I would say primal, but I literally only saw the first episode because it was free. And honestly, I'd like to watch more of that, but I also don't want to do another subscription. Centaur World is really good. And I enjoy the time that I had with it. But I haven't renewed my Netflix subscription to watch the second season. Because I don't really see much point in going out of my way to renew a subscription for a single season of one single show that I'm interested in. And yeah, there's been a second season out. Yeah. Centaur World is something I've watched on a whim. Like, I was bored out of my mind. I had just gotten back from work and I needed something. I didn't want to play any games. So I just wanted to watch something. And that something that interested me ended up being Centaur World. Just because I saw the shapes and colors and thought to myself, oh, is it going to be like a Gumball? Or is it going to be like a Adventure Time? It turns out it was leaning a little closer into the Adventure Time bracket, which, actually, how long ago was it that I watched? Let's see. 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I went and binged through the entirety of Adventure Time. That was another one of those moments where I was just bored out of my mind, needed something to watch, and didn't feel like playing games. That's actually the only time that I watch shows, is when I'm so bored that I literally just don't want to play games. I want to sit there and melt in my chair. Not calling anyone out here, but just to say it, animated shows shouldn't be bossing Sade into oblivion by corporations that just decide this isn't as profitable as service original series. Yeah. I feel like WB is especially guilty of that. Having just Thanos snapped like all of its animated roster for no apparent reason, with the sole survivor just being Uncle Grandpa. Makes me wonder if I would even be able to rewatch all of those Adventure Time episodes if I was to want to redo that. Because I know that they made some Adventure Time movies recently, and I only got to see BMO's movie. That was like the first one. Am I missing something? I am totally missing something, and I'm not even sure what. The recent Infinity Train showcases a big grievance of mine that streaming services and media being purely digital is a terrible thing, since whatever corporation runs the service can just say this isn't making big money and then it's gone. Yeah. I've never really been big on digital anything myself. I like working with technology, but I hate having that. Here's the big thing. Like, for me, I prefer physical copies of my games if I can manage them. Hold on. The most recent physical copy that I've got in my possession here, if I can find it, right here. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. I got this when it was new. And that was back in like, how long ago now? I think Windows 10 was like just starting to be new. 2015. 7 years ago. 7 years ago is the most recent physical like PC game that I have ever bought. I still have the disc and everything. Discs. I don't remember it being in multiple discs. There are 3 discs for Rainbow Six Siege, apparently. Oh. There is one thing also that I really dislike. Not that I'd be able to do anything about it, honestly. Can we talk about how sad it is that the little paper manuals that used to come with like physical games just don't exist anymore? Like, they just don't. Yeah, I used to like hold on. I used to take out those little manuals and read them on the way back home. Are they even necessary anymore? No. Not even in the slightest. And that's because we've started putting everything digitally now. But the main reason I miss the physical booklet is that you could read up on the game before you play the game. Great example. Another game that I have a physical copy of right here is the original Battlefield 2. This game is so ancient, it requires 512 megabytes of RAM. Yeah, needless to say, I can run this very well. And I have the physical manual of this. I remember when I first got this game, I wasn't very old. Like, when did this come out again? 2005? Let's see. So I'd have been about like 7 or 8 around that time. I remember very specifically on the way back home cracking open this honestly massive jewel case. Like, seriously, why was Battlefield 2's jewel case so fat? Like, I get that it has 4 discs, but they're all neatly stacked and don't really take up that much room. And the instruction manual isn't really that fat either. Just for some reason, this thing's wide. It's thick. And I mean, I like the look of it. It's like, it looks really good. But then again, they actually just don't make jewel cases like they used to either. I'm getting like super off topic for this game. I think my brain is kind of burned out on it almost. There we go. Main thing is, yeah, I still have some old ancient little jewel cases. They are big. And so what if they're a product of another era where they were limited by how much story and explanation could be in the actual game and needed the manual? The funniest part is very few manuals after about like 2000, actually just 2000. Very few manuals after 2000 use that to tell their story. Instead, they started using it to explain mechanics. I want you to take someone who has literally never played or seen Resident Evil 4 and tell them to play it. I want you to see how long it takes them to realize that they can use a kick command to save on ammo. There is no in-game tutorial for that. And yes, I understand that that's not exactly a good thing, that it's all in the manual either, but I don't know. I'm someone who really hates tutorials. Like, really hates tutorials. What game was it that showered me with tutorials in the beginning and it annoyed the hell out of me? I've gone through like a lot of games at this point, but I remember specifically there was one stream where, like, in the very beginning of the game, I was just annoyed, and there was like just constant complaints because I was really sick and tired of all the tutorials. It might have been Kingdom Hearts. I think it might have been Kingdom Hearts, honestly. Because I can't think of any other thing that was obnoxious with the tutorials. A lot of stuff that's controversial is game mechanics and general technical elements and stuff that could be a toggle/slider option. Okay, here's the thing though. The reason I hate tutorials is because so frequently they're done poorly. I would say that one of the best, like, hands-off tutorials I've ever seen actually belongs to Mega Man X. I'm sure some of you have seen Egoraptor's, like, sequelitis video on that, where he talks about the ways that Mega Man X teaches you how to, like, teaches you how to play the game. While a lot of what Aaron says about games is just completely stupid, a lot of his complaints against, like, Ocarina of Time are just nonsensical. I do think that he had a point when it came to the Mega Man X video, because it very well describes how I feel about Mega Man X. It teaches you so well. Oh yeah, this was the thing I needed to do. Have I touched Xenoblade 2 yet? No, I have not. I was thinking about it because it's been so long since I've done Final Fantasy X, and it's been so long since I've done Metal Gear Rising that I'm honest to God thinking that maybe I should just restart them, because I would have no idea where I am. And that's all because of that 8-month-long hiatus caused by my ISP just not fixing my internet. What I might do is, after I move, I'm going to put Final Fantasy X and Metal Gear Rising in the vault and retackle them later. And then I'll probably do Xenoblade 2 and Hollow Knight as the games instead. Xenoblade 2 because I want to get ready for Xenoblade 3 since that's out now. And I've been doing real good at avoiding spoilers, but good lord, sometimes I just hate Twitter. It really needs a better, like, method to cover spoilers and stuff like that. Aaron, games should teach you by showing, not telling. Also, Aaron, why isn't this game telling me everything? It's spooky dog. Yeah, basically. The tutorial talk will return. Oh boy. Like, I don't know about anyone else, but I absolutely loathe when a game stops everything to tell you, hey, did you know that you can press the X button to jump? Like, okay, I understand that not everyone has, like, played a video game before. But I think there's also far better ways to teach your player than that. Don't play Sonic Unleashed. I mean, I don't like Sonic games anyways. And it's not because they're bad, it's just not my cup of tea. Funky polygons. There is the shotgun. I think I can say it as a primer since it didn't touch on any key story stuff. Xeno 2 often stops you for tutorials and they're meaty ones for a lot of mechanics, and there's no way to view the explanations again afterwards. Oh, so, like, Xenoblade 1. Actually, that reminds me. It was Xenoblade 1 that was pissing me off with all the tutorials. Because it would literally halt progress just to tell me, hey, did you know that you can do this to do a thing? It's like, yeah, I literally did it 2 seconds ago. Or they'll have a tutorial for, like, the most bare-bones basic thing that you could figure out just by looking at the screen. Like, do you know how to do gems? You put them in a thing, and then it makes a number go higher. Did you know that? It's not like we have an entire section dedicated in your equipment for gems or anything that would have just naturally led you to look it out. I'm gonna save because I got a shotgun, and the last thing I need is to die again to contact damage. No, I'm not over the fact that a giant lizard has contact damage when nothing else in the game does. I like Final Fantasy VIII for the fact that you can redo a tutorial for the junction system. I had to read it like 5 times and play around with it to figure it out. What I remember hearing about Final Fantasy VIII is that the junction system isn't very well explained. So it's one of those things you kind of want to just toy with to make it work in general. Remember how to play the game? Remember this mechanic you're meant to always engage with? Yeah. That that is the kind of thing that I absolutely despise. Yeah, that's what I hear. I've just never played Final Fantasy VIII. And it's not because I don't want to. It's because there's not really enough good ways to play it. Nine is really good. 9 is actually my favorite Final Fantasy in the entire franchise. There is 8 on Steam, but from what I remember, it's kind of scuffed on Windows 10. I don't know if they fixed that. I can probably get it on Switch, but I can tell you right now, I'm not playing Final Fantasy on stream, or at least not 8 or 7. I've, like, 7, 8, and 9 are Final Fantasies that I would never play on stream. And that's not because they're bad. It's because the hardware makes them so slow. It would just not be fun to watch. I mean, what was your favorite part of Final Fantasy VII? Mine was the part where I took nearly a minute to load into a boss battle. And then it took another, like, 20 seconds just to play the intro cinematic for it. Still loud.
Daddy, help me. Daddy, where are you?
Cheryl!
One thing I can say, though, is that I did like Final Fantasy VII. I never beat it, but I did have fun with it. Oh, Sea of Ishi. Like, I enjoyed 7. I liked 9 a lot. But I would say, honestly, that neither of them make for really good streaming material because of the excessive slowdown. And let's not even begin to tackle the Knights of the Round summon. Which just... oh, God, that animation takes so long. To be honest, I think I'm going to call it here as well. I know that I made progress and then lost it all, but I think this is a good spot. Because, like, we got a decent amount of progress. We got a shotgun. We're just before the first boss. We solved a puzzle. I think that's a good stopping point. Let's see if there's anyone to raid. I did stream a little bit longer today than I did the last time. I'm trying to train back my voice for streaming, because I used to be able to do this for like 4 hours at a time, possibly more. and I just can't anymore. I'm not used to talking for long periods of time. Let's see. I have an idea. Is anyone else playing Silent Hill at this point? Anyone else? Oh, hey, there's someone literally at the generator that we were just at. What if you move to the new place and you have net issues again? I'd be thoroughly impressed. Honest to God, I'd be thoroughly impressed. I'm moving to Seattle. So if there were internet problems, they would be resolved much quicker there. Part of the problem that I had here is that I'm currently living in an area where there's a lot of Amish people. So there's not a whole lot of demand for internet here. As a result, well, there's not a whole lot of tech people that can help out, and there's not a lot of incentive to do it. So I'll be moving from basically this area to a place full of techies. So I should have better internet there. The main thing is figuring out how much it'll cost. But yeah, we're gonna raid this person because they're not too far behind us. They're very close. I wonder if they died to contact damage as well and lost progress. So thank you, Minty Cow, V Sheep, Kisheru, Vic. Let's see who else showed up. Quite a few people showed up. But thank all of you for stopping by. I hope you all have a lovely day. And I will see you all on Monday. We're going to continue doing Silent Hill, I think. We're going to try and complete Silent Hill before the end of the month. That is our goal. If we can't make it, I'll play a Sonic game as punishment. Ciao.